Cool.
Okay.
So let's start over again. Okay, so can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Sure, yeah. My name's Aftab Hafeez, and I'm the composer for the Medina Papel animation. I've been involved for, I lost count, but I'm just estimating it's been about a year maybe. And I'm a film composer and music producer, and based here in San Francisco. So yeah, scoring films, animations, video games, a lot of different media.
Cool. What made you decide to go into music?
So my music experience started early. I started out playing the violin when I was like 3 and moved on to like the piano when I was around the age of 7, kept playing that throughout my life. Um, and yeah, actually since like I was 14 years old, I was producing actually rap in the underground rap scene in Sacramento. And then I decided basically eventually to do an MFA in music and sound design for Visual Media at Academy of Art. And that's when I started seriously getting involved with scoring visual media, scoring animations like Madina Papel. Um, but yeah, that's a little bit of like how I got into music.
Cool. So, how did you first get involved with Medina Papel?
It was I first met Sama at a Brave Maker meeting like just before the film festival. And but then Tony, the founder of Brave Maker, kind of connected us because she needed a composer, and that's how we pretty much got connected. And then we are just talking, and yeah, and then from there, basically, I just started making the music for it.
Cool. So, like, you've worked with Brave Maker before?
Yeah, yeah, I was just involved doing miscellaneous things, working with Tony on music and sound, and just like helping out at the film festival. Yeah.
Cool. So can you talk maybe a bit more about the Medina Papel soundtrack and like maybe the process of like producing the music?
Yeah, so Samad really wanted to show and it's a reflection of her own experience, of course. So she wanted to reflect the color that Gufran, the protagonist of the animation, has, and the spread of the color. Um, and yeah, there's a lot that really went into like crafting the sound for it. But we definitely wanted to have some Saudi elements, and we decided on the oud. So the oud, for anyone that doesn't know, it's like a lute, and it's like one of the oldest like musical instruments, I believe. Um, so we wanted that in there, and then yeah, it was kind of a struggle to kind of find how to make it work because it has to be an animation score, and usually just the precedent for animation is like it's usually has some like whimsical elements. I feel like that's kind of the convention. So yeah, so I used some tricks, like a harp usually is kind of a good thing there, but um, yeah, capturing the overall mood of what I felt Gafron was about. So um, yeah, I'm trying to recall the whole process. There's just a lot that went into it. But yeah, just iterating through a lot of different. Um, I think one thing that definitely, just as a composer and just even beyond that for the project overall, was really the multicultural aspect. Like that's a huge inspiration actually. Like I felt that. Um, I guess I'd say I try to draw on that, the whole spirit of it, the importance of that, and reconciling the different cultures, if you will. So I can strongly relate to that, and I myself being like Colombian Pakistani, like that's it was just like wow, like this is crazy how this just like happened. So I keep that in mind too when scoring, and like I want to convey the mix of cultures in there, which I think you can hear in the soundtrack too, because it's like the oud complements a lot of Western orchestration.
Cool. So what exactly like is scoring?
Yeah, so scoring is the process of it's basically making music to picture. So if you're scoring a film, you're crafting music that complements or emphasizes parts of the visual. And there's a lot of actually things like to consider as like a film composer, someone that's scoring film or animation. A lot of times you're serving specific purposes at different times in animation. Like, do you want to say something that's not being said visually? Do you want to emphasize a certain emotion here? Do we want to tell a certain character's perspective, their point of view?
Yeah.
And those goes on as for like what um, what things we're trying to what the music is trying to do, what's its purpose. And I try to be as deliberate as possible with that, but sometimes just even as an artist, it's like you go with the feeling and then you realize that yeah, it makes sense because of XYZ reasons. Um, but that's yeah, in a little nutshell, that's like what scoring is.
Cool. So how has your work been affected by quarantine?
Yeah, the quarantine. I mean, the nature of what I do, I'm usually like in the studio or whatnot, working, and I feel like it hasn't affected me too much as for my workflow. More recently, I had to relocate to Sacramento, but that's probably like the biggest change really for me as for my workflow is just the relocation. But no, there's got to be some things that have changed. Like, I mean, of course, with everyone being remote, then it's like we're all getting used to communicating with
Yeah.
clients remotely, like strictly remotely. That's one thing that I've kind of somewhat had to get used to. But um, I think that's yeah. Other than that, I can't really think of anything that's been crazy, like being thrown off. Um, Production schedules sometimes get affected, but yeah.
Cool. So how do you think Medina Papel's values tie into your life?
Oh, yeah. So, kind of like off of what I mentioned earlier, being multicultural, uh, that I'm trying to think of a concise answer, but um, yeah, I guess I could just say that it's very acknowledging the importance of culture on a lot of things, from our communication to, um, yeah, I think that's just huge. Like understanding different cultures, and that there's usually not like just one right way to do something. And I feel that's kind of part of the spirit of Medina Papel, where Gufran is coming back to his family and showing that there's more to the world, and I've experienced this, and I hope you can accept me for like my experiences. Like that's what Gufran is kind of symbolizing, and I can greatly resonate with that that value, I guess you could say. Um, so yeah, I guess I hope that answers that question. But that's really been a huge thing for me, and what's kept me working on the animation, along with of course the team. That I think everyone's just really like genuine and open minded. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how it how the values of Medina Patel I think weave with mine is just I guess open mindedness, seeking to understand, and spreading an awareness um, of a lot of the different cultures and ways to do things in a way that are all, uh, how do you say, supporting each other. So, yeah, that's a little bit about that.
Cool. So any thoughts on the future for Medina Papel?
Yeah, I'd love to see it. And of course, I want to more immediately is to see that Medina Papel becomes the best stop motion animation that it can be. Um, of course, seeing it succeed in festivals and whatnot is rewarding. Um, but yeah, and as for the company, I hope that we can continue to make other similar productions. I know there's some looking into doing a VR project, and that'd be one thing that'd be really cool is to see different using different mediums to in different stories to help go in that same vein. Um, and yeah, of course, me as a composer, as a music producer, that's another thing too. Of course, as a music producer as well, we're working on a song called Blackwater,
Yeah.
which we're nearing completion. And I guess I'll mention a little bit about that. And it's with Tommy Shepard. He's a Grammy-nominated rapper here in Oakland.
Wow.
Who's a really talented singer in Los Angeles. And Sama is kind of spearheading this whole operation and us making the song. So projects like that as well, just using as many mediums as we can, along with great music and a great message. That's kind of I'd like to see that explored more. So
Cool. So like what's the theme of like the song about?
Blackwater is about. It also pulls from Sama's experience of basically um, the struggles that Saudi women face in Saudi Arabia from the male guardianship that can be pretty oppressive at times, and the physical abuse that goes on from that. So that's kind of the overall what the song, I guess you could say, is about, bringing awareness to that. Um, and giving hope to people to overcome whatever struggles they're facing, whether it's specifically that, but also things that are analogous to that. Um, so I'm excited to help this song be something that a lot of people can relate to, not necessarily if you're Saudi. So, but nonetheless, it also has a lot of Saudi influence. So I am that's one of the things I'm working on, is to give it a very Saudi vibe to it. But that's what Blackwater is about.
Cool. So thank you so much for coming to the Q&A session.
Yeah, thank you for having me on there.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
So thank you everybody for tuning in. As you know, we also have our new campaign up to raise the last bit of money that we need to finish the film. So if you check out our latest posts on any of our social media, you can find the link to that there. And thank you everybody so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week. Bye.